special edition of Gotmark76 this week. I am your host, Gotmark76. We are 1 week removed from the King of the Ring that saw Barry Windham win the tournament. He will earn a world title match of his choosing, and we have been informed that Barry Windham will indeed challenge Magnum TA for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. That match will take place next week at night 1 of the Great American Bash. Also last week, the Hollywood Blondes defeated the Midnight Express for the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championship. But we are here tonight because of a change. That's right, breaking the fourth wall down. It has been very difficult to monitor a Wrestling Legends promotion here on the YouTube channel with a roster of, no lie, 87 wrestlers. So what we are going to do tonight is have 3 rounds of a draft. That is correct. We are going to do a draft. It works so well for Raw and SmackDown. You know, those guys never, ever went outside the rules. There was a hard split, a hard draft. The results were concrete. They never did anything. Okay, maybe not. AEW did a split. You'll never see wrestlers from Dynamite wrestle on Collision. Well, listen. Here in the Wrestling Legends Alliance, we're going to have about as tight rules as they do. We're going to have talent that are drafted that might wrestle, might not wrestle. Who knows? We might see wrestlers that weren't drafted show up. That's going to be the fun and excitement, but it's going to be easier to maintain with a smaller roster, and that is the point of today's show. Without further ado, let's dive right into the first round of the Wrestling Legends Alliance Draft. So here we are, this high technology that we have here on the Gotmark76 channel. There's the countdown clock. And Bam Bam Bigelow has been drafted number 1 overall here in this random draft. Bam Bam Bigelow will be part of the new Wrestling Legends Alliance universe. We're coming up on the second pick of round 1. And it's the Freebirds. Michael P.S. Hayes and Jimmy Jam Garvin have been drafted here in the Wrestling Legends Alliance. And of course, these wrestlers will appear weekly going forward. Cactus Jack, member of Devastation Incorporated, has been drafted as well. Let's see who is next here for the Wrestling Legends Alliance draft round 1. Macho Man Randy Savage, we have not seen him since he was taken out several weeks ago by Big Van Vader. Let's see who's next here in round 1 of the draft. Terry Funk, a member of the J-Tex Corporation. An exciting first round thus far here. And Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard have been drafted. That's half of the 4 horsemen have been drafted here in the first round. You have to wonder if Flair and Windham are close behind. And Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, drafted here to the Wrestling Legends Alliance. A first round pick at random. We're coming up on the next pick here. Barry Windham. So 3/4 of the 4 horsemen have been drafted to the universe mode going forward. Let's see who's next. Kevin Von Erich, a member of the Von Erich family. You'll notice it was Kevin drafted, not Kevin and Kerry, so I wonder if the Von Erichs will be split up. Next up, Rowdy Roddy Piper concludes the first round. So the first round is over. The results of the first round: Bam Bam Bigelow, the Fabulous Freebirds, Cactus Jack, Macho Man Randy Savage, Terry Funk, and even though it's out of order, I'm going to go Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, and Barry Windham have been all drafted here in the first round, leaving only Ric Flair as the only member of the Horsemen not drafted yet. Of course, rounds 2 and 3 coming up very shortly. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, was drafted. Kevin Von Erich. This was Kevin Von Erich solo, not a tag team with his brother Kerry. And finishing out the first round was Rowdy Roddy Piper. And let's head to the second round of the draft. Alright, so round 2 of the draft is on its way. Again, these are all selected at random. And Hulk Hogan has been drafted here in the Wrestling Legends Alliance second round draft pick. Hulk Hogan. I can't really take much stock. These were done on a random basis. Next up is Jake the Snake Roberts, a member of Devastation Incorporated. So Cactus Jack, drafted as a solo act in the first round. Jake the Snake follows suit. So Devastation Incorporated members have been drafted so far. And next up, Sting. The World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Champion Sting has been drafted to the Wrestling Legends Alliance going forward. So an exciting draft here so far. Round 2 in progress. And the Midnight Express, the former World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions. They dropped those belts last week at King of the Ring to the Hollywood Blondes. Next up is Don Morocco, The Rock. Don Morocco drafted here in the second round. We have not seen Don Morocco here in the Wrestling Legends Alliance, I don't think, this season. And that's the point of this draft. We can focus as the American Dream Dusty Rhodes drafted here in round number 2. And we can focus on talent that may not have been used all that much since the 2K23 season started. And, oh, Mr. Wonderful Paul, I mean, come on, you guys knew he was going to make it, right? I mean, Mr. Wonderful, a second round pick here in the draft. And the Great Muta, so J-Tex of Terry Funk and the Great Muta, as individual talent, have made the cut in the Wrestling Legends Alliance draft. Very interesting. Our next pick is up soon, and it is Nature Boy Ric Flair. So the 4 Horsemen as an entity have been drafted in this draft. Ric Flair, a second round draft pick. The other 3 members, Barry Windham, Tully Blanchard, and Arn Anderson in the first round. Who's next? It's the Hollywood Blondes, the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions, have made it here to the Wrestling Legends Alliance going forward. That's exciting. The Midnight Express and the Hollywood Blondes making the cut. And Magnum TA, the World Wrestling Federation Champion, rounds out round number 2. What a draft that was. Round number 2, picking right off where round number 1 ended. And hey, why stop there? We have a third and final round, and that is coming up right now. We're going to go right to it. And here we are, round number 3, the first draft pick of round number 3. Hercules Hernandez and Paul Roma, the team of Power and Glory. They are the first pick here in the third round, and that should be exciting to see Power and Glory on the Wrestling Legends Alliance. Next up, the U.S. Heavyweight Champion, the Total Package, Lex Luger. So the Total Package, a third round pick here in the Wrestling Legends Alliance draft. And we're moments away from finding out the third pick of the third round, and it is Stan, the Lariat Hansen. Well, I'll tell you what, this roster really is shaping up with some great talent. Some talent that we really haven't focused on too much here in 2K23. Next up, Heenan family member Ravishing Rick Rude, drafted number 4 in the third round. And the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott, drafted here in the third round. They are the 5th pick of the third round. And we're moments away from finding out who's number 6. Bruiser Brody, number 6, the NWA World Television Champion. a third-round pick here in the draft. And check that out, the Diamond Stud. I'll tell you what, a third-round pick. I am looking forward to using the Diamond Stud in the universe mode. That should be pretty exciting. As Nikita Koloff, a third-round pick. Always loved Nikita, love using Nikita. Looking forward to some matchups with some of the wrestlers drafted here so far. And Dr. Death Steve Williams is next. So this is shaping up to be quite the roster. Not a very large roster. We're talking maybe 40, 45 people, but it's much better than the 87 I was working with. And next up is Mr. Perfect, another Heenan family member, drafted here in the draft. We only have 2 picks left, and it's going to be the Rockers of Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. So the tag team division looking pretty strong here so far in the draft. And our final pick of the third round, Sid Vicious has been drafted. And what a draft that was. All 3 rounds completed here. And it's going to be an exciting roster. I'll tell you what, you look at that roster, a lot of that talent I have used during the course of my channel. And some I really haven't focused on, but I'm looking forward to it. The likes of the Diamond Stud, of course, Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, but the Diamond Stud, an early 90s WCW wrestler that just never really got a fair shake. He, of course, went on to the World Wrestling Federation, became Razor Ramon, and his career took off from there. But a lot of talent, Power and Glory, a tag team, an underrated tag team, if you ask me. So I'm looking forward to using the wrestlers that we saw drafted here tonight, and it should be a fun time. Fans, I'm going to make a special announcement as we go off the air here. This was a short episode, basically just going over the draft and who we will have going forward. But I wanted to announce that July 3rd, next week, at the Great American Bash, we have Night 1 matches already signed. Barry Windham will challenge Magnum TA for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. That is the match that Barry Windham wanted. He earned that right when he won the King of the Ring tournament last week. We will also see the NWA World Heavyweight Championship on the line when Ricky the Dragon Steamboat defends against Ravishing Rick Rude. 2 men who are no strangers to each other will battle it out for the AWA World Championship when the American Dream Dusty Rhodes challenges Nature Boy Ric Flair. Intercontinental Championship will be on the line as runner-up to the King of the Ring, Stan the Lariat Hansen challenges Sting for the gold. And next week, the opening match of the Great American Bash Night 1, coming your way live from Philadelphia, will be the NWA World Television title on the line as Bruiser Brody defends against Bam Bam Bigelow. That's all coming your way next week here on the Gotmark76 channel. We thank you so much for tuning in to this first ever Wrestling Legends Alliance Gotmark76 draft, and we will see you next week at Night 1 of the Great American Bash. Until then, we'll see you at the matches. Good night, everybody.